Hi, I'm Ali B from iTalkGuitar, and this is episode 1 of the iTalkGuitar podcast series. And now here's our exclusive interview, a one-on-one with jazz legend Martin Taylor.
Martin, thanks very much for being on the podcast.
Good to be here, good to be here.
What would you say is the best advice anyone gave you about playing guitar?
When I was, I was around about 21, 22, that's when I met Ike Isaacs, who really became my mentor for guitar, and I never officially had lessons with him, but I used to go to his house a lot and just we sit down and play, and he'd show me things. By that time, I'd already been playing guitar for a long time. I'd been a professional musician for quite a number of years, and I was really very interested in playing solo guitar. And I went to Ike's house, and he said, "Well, play me something." So I played him something, and I did exactly what most guitar players do when they want to play solo jazz guitar. They find an inversion of the chord and then put the melody on the top. So I was doing that, and I finished it. I thought it sounded quite nice, and he said, "Oh, that's boring." So I was quite shattered by this. "Oh, that's very boring," he said, "very boring." I said, "Whoa, okay, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, you've got nothing going on. You just got the chord and the melody on the top. You want to get some lines going on." So I said, "Well, show me what you mean." And then, he said, "Move away from playing chords. Of thinking in chords, of chord shapes. One of the great attractions of the guitar is that we can learn the guitar quite quickly because we can have these guitar shapes. We know where we can put our hand in certain shapes and move them up and down the neck. But then it gets to a point where that kind of traps you, and you can't move out of that, and you can't create anymore if you're just stuck with these shapes all the time, because it just kind of boxes you in.
And you start thinking visually.
You start thinking visually, exactly. So you've got to kind of move out of that. So he told me, this was his advice to me, was that to think of each note and the relationship of the notes to each other. So basically, what you're doing, you're thinking really the way an arranger would write for an orchestra, and instead of thinking like a guitarist, you're thinking like a musician.
Right.
So so I always say that Ike. I was already a guitar player when I met Ike, but he turned me into being a musician.
In terms of playing solo,